siri unasinzia. Acheni tu niwaeleze, Magufuli kapania. Odadi Magufuli cheza nipone, wasopenda wabanwe choo, magumu acheni. Odadi asa cheza nipone, jembe toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Aga mpole mtu wa dini hajachoka, tunashukuru. Amesame mara 70, Papi Kocha sayupo huru. Wa Tanzania tupewe nini, vilokufa yeka vifufua. Karudisha nidhamu serikalini, ukileta janja na tumbua. Sekta madini, umeme, maji, kero zimepungua. Elimu bure vijijini, watoto shule wanabukua. Ifikapo 2020 kura yangu wechukua. Asa tufiche ya nini, Magu uongozi anaujua. Dar es Salaam mwendo kasi, vituo vya afya kila kata. Machinga tunachapa kazi, tena huru bila shaka. Buriki utari ameongeza, uchumi uweze panda. Serikali Dodoma inapendeza, Tanzania ya viwanda. Odadi Magufuli cheza nipone, wasopenda wabanwe choo, magumu acheni. Odadi asa cheza nipone, jembe toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Asa wote wa Tanzania tusimame imara, eni wote Tanzania, Tanzania tusonge mbele. John Pombe Magufuli simama imara, yani sote tusonge mbele, Tanzania tusonge mbele. Oh Mama Samia Suluhu basi simama imara, pamoja tusonge mbele, Tanzania tusonge mbele. Baba Kasimu Majaliwa simama imara, pamoja tusonge mbele, Tanzania tusonge.
Hey, good day, good day. Today we are going to start a new program. How do we make Africa great again? We have a documentary here that shows that before the slave trade started in Africa, Africa was the richest continent in the world. That does not cancel the fact that Africa is not the richest continent in terms of resources today. But if we look in terms of per capita income, economy, and everything, Africa is so down. But this documentary tells us that before the slave trade, even the economy of Africa was so great that even gold from the empire of Mali was taken to Egypt, and that caused the gold market in Egypt to fall for over 12 years. So now we are going to start this program. If you are watching me, we are on YouTube or Doko Media Studios. You can send your comment. You can ask your questions. You can also come on the studio as guest. So much has been said about what is happening in Africa. Some people say white man brought religion in Africa and took away our resources. White man brought religion in Africa and took away our resources. That's just like a complaint of a very lazy man, because this thing was done so many years ago. China did not need Europe or the Western world to be what China is all about today. But also, remember, the gospel was also taken to China. The gospel, Christianity, was also taken to China. You have a very large Christian population that were in China. But why is China still progressing and Africa is staying behind. We are going to start this program by playing this music, and we are going to have maybe 2 or 3 minutes to share. And after that, we are going to kickstart this program.
I wish ningemwona Magufuli, nipige magoti, nimpongeze hadharani. Yani rais wa muungano wa jamhuri, mchapakazi hachoki, anayepinga nani? Ametuvusha vikwazo, wewe nami, ona nchi anavyoijenga. Flyover sa tunazo, daraja Kigamboni, airport imeshajengwa. Acha nikupongeze kwa Air Tanzania, zidi baba tuongeze, Airbus Bombardier, Standard Gauge tuteleze, kusafiri unasinzia. Acheni tu niwaeleze, Magufuli kapania. Odadi Magufuli, cheza nipone, sopenda wabanecho, magumu acheni. Odadi asa cheza nipone, jembe toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Aga mpole mtu wa dini hajachoka, tunashukuru. Amesame mara 70, papiko chasa yupo huru. Wa Tanzania tupewe nini, vilokufa yeka vifufua. Karudisha nidhamu serikalini, ukileta janja na tumbua. Sekta madini, umeme, maji, kero zimepungua. Elimu bure vijijini, watoto shule wanabukua. Ifikapo 2020, kura yangu wechukua. Asa tufiche ya nini, Magu uongozi anaujua. Dar es Salaam mwendo kasi, vituo vya afya kila kata. Machinga tunachapa kazi, tena huru bila shaka. Burigi utari ameongeza, uchumi uweze panda. Serikali Dodoma inapendeza, Tanzania ya viwanda. Odadi Magufuli, cheza nipone, sopenda wabanecho, magumu acheni. Odadi asa cheza nipone, jembe toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Asa wote wa Tanzania tusimame imara, eni wote Tanzania, Tanzania tusonge mbele. John Pombe Magufuli, simama imara, yani sote tusonge mbele. Tanzania tusonge mbele. Oh Mama Samia Suluhu, basi simama imara, pamoja tusonge mbele. Tanzania tusonge mbele. Baba Kasimu Majaliwa, simama imara, pamoja tusonge mbele. Tanzania tusonge mbele.
Welcome back. This is your host, Chief, and today we are going to be talking about how do we make Africa great again. The comment section, it's open on YouTube, Toko Media Studio. You can click on it to comment and send us your view, or if you have any questions. We start with the statement, white man brought religion to Africa and take away our resources. This is 21st century. This is something that happened way back ago. And this did not only happen to Africa, it happens to so many other continents that are also having Christianity. But why is it that it's still affecting Africa till today? Now we are going to look at this document. This document was not taken from it was not downloaded from the street sites. This was downloaded from the BBC website. It's going to tell us how was Africa before the slave trade. Even when I wanted to start this topic, I was doing some research and I was asking myself, if our parents did not sell us out to slave trade, we wouldn't have been going through what we are going today. But remember, if you do your research very well, our forefathers did not start by selling their brothers to the white man. The white people from Portugal, the Portuguese, started kidnapping black people from Africa to Portugal. Then when the other European countries realized that, oh, these black people, they are very strong, they are very powerful, they are making the Portuguese economy to grow, they now brought their power to come now and deal the trade openly. Some of the kingdoms then said yes, some said no. But what happened to those who said yes? They traded. What happened to those who said no? They were fought against because they had the arms and they had a economy that could convince the people to influence them to accept. But before we start, there are a lot of things that happens in this, how do we make Africa great again? Today we see Africans just sit and complain. No matter where you are in America, Australia, Canada, or wherever you are in the world, West Indies, wherever you are, if you are a black man, you are from Africa. Because Africa is the seed of the black continent. So you can see that what is happening in Africa is not just about Africans that are living in Africa. It's about the black race. Before we talk further, let it not be as if we just create a platform to talk. We are going to go through some facts. It is here in front of me. The document states Africa's economic and social development before 15,000 may disputably have been ahead of Europe's. So what is happening today? If an economy is more than another economy, and those people invest in that economy, it is only obvious that that economy will keep growing. But what is happening today? Africans are trooping, dying in the Mediterranean Sea, dying across the sea from Libya just to enter Europe. It continues. It said it was gold from the great empires of West Africa, Ghana, Mali, Songa, that provided the means for the economic takeoff of Europe in the 13th and 14th century and arose the interest of Europeans in Western Africa. It was what? The gold from Ghana, Mali, Songa in the 13th and 14th century. So today when we look at Europe, it's all developed, it's great, it's moving forward. We think here, this is the way things are supposed to be. Europe are supposed to go forward. we are supposed to go behind. That is not the way it's supposed to be. Something has to be done. If it comes in terms of music, when I sit all the time to talk, I always give a big greetings to Pastor Chris Eyakilome. That today, if you go to gospel concert all over the world, you cannot listen to this concert to the end without hearing songs from Africa and South Africa. Those songs that makes us represent us wherever this gospel is played. We see our brother Akon is trying to make an Akon city in Senegal. Greetings to you, my brother. We see my junior man Wodemaya is busy also trying to show people to the other side of Africa. Because most people, when they look at Africa, it's like, okay, this one is another reserve zone. But we are coming to that. Let's continue with our document. In the 14th century, the West African Empire of Mali was larger than Western Europe. In the 14th century, the Empire of Mali was larger than the whole of Western Europe and reputed to be one of the richest and most powerful states in the world. But tell me, if we are even counting the states in Africa that are powerful, can we talk about Ghana, about Mali? This is far. We'll be talking about the giant of Africa is Nigeria. Then maybe we'd say South Africa. Then we say Ghana. We'll be calling all these nations. But the document says in the 14th century, Mali was the richest and most powerful state in the world, which means you put the whole of Europe and America together, including Australia. Yet this document says it was the most powerful. What happened to this most powerful state today? The document even says when the emperor of Mali, Mansa Musa, visited Cairo in 1324, it was said that he took so much gold with him that it fell dramatically and could not recover the value after 12 years. Which means he took so much gold. We said that he took so much gold with him that its price fell dramatically and had not recovered. Even within 12 years, one person visited Cairo, Egypt with a certain amount of gold, and that dropped the price of gold in that country for 12 years. What is happening today? He said the University of Sankore, based in Timbuktu. This is one of also the most powerful universities that were known in the world. It says the Empire of Sanga was known, among other things, for the University of Sankore, based in Timbuktu. What is happening to Africa? Today we have Europe for African Summit. Why can we not also have Ghana for American Summit? Or South Africa for Europe Summit? When the presidents of Africa come and sit and listen to one president from Europe and say France for African Summit, and the whole head of state in Africa will come and sit and they listen for the president of France to talk. What do you think you are doing to yourself? You are subjecting yourself to France and tell France, look, we cannot deal without you. China did not need Europe to grow. So if we are having conflicts today the way we are having in Africa, and you think that Europe will come and help you to solve your conflict in Africa, you are wasting your time. I was talking to a friend the other day and said, as the African people, we need to emulate what Paul Kagame is doing in Rwanda. This is what people fail to understand. The same thing happened to Gaddafi. The most important thing that Africa needs, it's not somebody that listens to Europe. It's somebody that thinks about his or her people. Somebody that thinks about their nation. And when you see somebody like Gaddafi, all he was thinking about is how to make Mali, Libya and Africa great again. But what happened is the same our own brother with this black color that was the president of America when that same person was taken out of power. And what is happening today? Libya was hosting more than 5, 10, 20 million Africans. When they all leave West Africa and say, oh, we are going to Europe. When they get to Libya, they could tell we are moving to Europe, but I think this country looks like Europe. Maybe we should settle here a little bit and see what happens. Some of them will make so much money in Libya that they will go back to their countries. But what happened? They came in and killed Gaddafi for no reason. Just to make sure that Africans will be subjected. And then you turn around and you blame the Western world. Did the Western world start by fighting against Gaddafi? No. What they do is they come to your own people and they talk to your people and say, look, if you can remove this man, we will give you this. You cannot blame Lucifer for being bad. Because this is what Lucifer does. You cannot blame Satan, the devil, for being bad. This is what he does. But you have to blame yourself for being an agent. Because if somebody is bad, the person is bad. You cannot blame somebody for being bad. The person has chosen to be bad, yes. Then you who connive for that person, you should find yourself to be blamed. Somebody, a country leave Europe, so a president leave Europe and go to Africa and tell the president, you know, these people that are complaining about this thing, you can go there and kill all of them. It doesn't matter. You say, oh, I cannot kill them because I don't have arms. You say, no, kill them, I will give you arms. And once they rise up against you, I will support you. That country did not leave the Western world come to Africa to kill the Africans. But it used the greed. That's why I say the white governments are wicked, while the African governments are greedy. Because it's only a greedy man that listens to a wicked person. Look at the doctor that stood up to talk about how Africans can rise up and collect their reserve in France. What happened? No matter the cut knife that they made at the back against the doctor, is the same African who is the chairman of the African Union that actually sacked her from being part of the government of AU. Why? Because when they look at the agenda of this woman, they're thinking, oh, this woman is now opening the eyes of people to be able to understand, for Africans to be able to understand that it's time for them to rise up again, which is what the Western world is trying to close our eyes to. Let's go down to our document. It says, from the middle of the 15th century, Africa entered into a unique relationship with Europe that leads to the devastation and depopulation of Africa, but contributed to the wealth and development of Europe. While we are going down, devastated, and we are depopulated, this slave trade led to the wealth and development of Europe. He said from then until the end of the 19th century, Europeans began to establish a trade for African captives. I mean, you sit and you look at a certain set of people and you think, I need to take these people hostage to make us grow. You people came to Africa to force them to come to Europe. Today they want to come to Europe, you are asking them for visa. Is it these same African people that came to Europe to develop the Euro? Is this not the same African people that went to Australia? Is it not the same African people that went to America? But then they wanted to sit in Africa and develop Africa. And you said no. You forced them to the Western world. Now they develop the Western world. Okay, let them come and benefit from the development that they have brought into the Western world. You are asking them for visa. Did you ask them for visa when you were carrying them to Europe? Let's go down on this document. It said it is estimated that by the early 16th century, as much as 10% of the Lisbon population was African descent. This is what the people of Cristiano Ronaldo did to the Africans. They say up to 10% in the 16th century. Today, you'll be facing racism in Portugal in the 21st century. But since 16th century, 10% of Lisbon population was African descent. So you can imagine that those people grew up in Portugal. In how many generations? Today, they still face discrimination. They still face racism. How do you expect the population not to grow if by that time we already had 10%? It says many of these African captives crossed the Sahara and reached Europe and other destinations from North Africa and were transported across the Indian Ocean. The transatlantic slave trade began during the 15th century when the Portuguese and subsequently other European kingdoms were finally able to expand overseas and reach Africa. So the Portuguese first began to kidnap people from the west coast of Africa and to take those they have kidnapped, enslave them and take them back to Europe. And until you dig deep into what actually happened to slave trade, at a certain point in my mind I was saying, but why are you blaming these white people for the slave trade? After all, we sold ourselves. But when I stumbled on this document when I was doing my research, and this document was not written by an African in Africa. This is downloaded from the BBC website from England. That says the Portuguese kidnapped Africans. And yet we have Hague. What is Hague doing? Judging African presidents for embezzling. Can Africa not take Portugal now to Hague to judge them for those they kidnapped and give them a ransom that they have to pay for those people? Look, my Bible tells me there is nothing wrong with Christians going into politics, because if good people don't go into politics, bad people will take bad decisions that will affect the good people. So if you are a pastor, you are a prophet, and you are doing your church or you are doing your evangelism and God calls you to lead, go and lead. There is nothing wrong. We see our brother Magufuli in Tanzania. I was watching a documentary the other day at the European Parliament. One person was so angry how they give money to Tanzania when the Tanzanian president says there is no corona in Tanzania. And he said the European Parliament is wasting money because you can't be giving money to a country that says there is no corona. Why are you giving this person money? But Finally, what happened? Couple of days later, they said the person is dead. Of what? Corona. How can a president that has developed his country this much even refuse to take all this aid and all those things, saying that there is no corona in my country, and yet that same president would die of corona? Viewers, please don't go. We have a lot to talk about. Let's just take a short break.
I wish ningemwona Magufuli, nipige magoti, nimpongeze hadharani. Yani rais wa muungano wa jamhuri, mchapakazi hachoki, anayepinga nani? Ametuvusha vikwazo, wewe nami, ona nchi anavyoijenga. Flyover tunazo, daraja Kigamboni, airport imeshajengwa. Acha nikupongeze kwa Air Tanzania, zidi baba tuongeze, Airbus Bombardier, Standard Gauge tuteleze, kusafiri unasinzia. Acheni tu niwaeleze, Magufuli kapania. Odadi Magufuli, cheza nipone, sopenda wabanwecho, magumu acheni. Odadi asa cheza nipone, jembe toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Aga mpole mtu wa dini hajachoka, tunashukuru. Amesame mara 70, Papi Kocha sayupo huru. Wa Tanzania tupewe nini? Vilokufa yeka vifufua, karudisha nidhamu serikalini, ukileta janja na tumbua. Sekta madini, umeme, maji, kero zimepungua. Elimu bure vijijini, watoto shule wanabukua. Ifikapo 2020 kura yangu wechukua. Asa tufiche ya nini? Magu uongozi anaujua. Dar es Salaam mwendo kasi, vituo vya afya kila kata. Machinga tunachapa kazi, tena huru bila shaka. Buriki utari ameongeza, uchumi uweze panda. Serikali Dodoma inapendeza, Tanzania ya viwanda. Odadi Magufuli, cheza nipone, sopenda wabanwecho, magumu acheni. Odadi asa cheza nipone, jembe toka Chato, Magufuli ndo rais wa wanyonge. Asa wote wa Tanzania tusimame imara, yani wote Tanzania, Tanzania tusonge mbele. John Pombe Magufuli, simama imara, yani sote tusonge mbele, Tanzania tusonge mbele. Oh Mama Samia Suluhu, basi simama imara, pamoja tusonge mbele, Tanzania tusonge mbele. Baba Kasimu Majaliwa, simama imara, pamoja tusonge mbele, Tanzania tusonge mbele.
Welcome back. Yeah, now it's time to talk. We are no longer going to sit quiet. Now it's time to make Africa great again. Viewers, we are on the program, How Do We Make Africa Great Again? If you are watching it, please share, because we need to set up a new strategy for Africa. We have complained a lot. I remember when I was in secondary school more than 25 years ago, we were studying, and China, Africa, like Asia and Africa, they were all at the same level. They were all called other developing nation or underdeveloped nations. They say Asia except South Korea and Japan. And then when it came to Africa, they said the whole of Africa. Today, look at China. Look at China. We are busy complaining about the Western world, taking our problems to the Western world. Africa, the Western world cannot solve your problem because they are your problem. You cannot use your problem to solve your problem. Like this lady was saying, the doctor, we need to get our reserves. We need to be schools. We need to move from primary production to secondary and to tertiary. You take a bag of cocoa and sell to Europe, they tell you how much they will buy. And this bag of cocoa gets to Europe, and by the time we get chocolate to Africa, a little carton of chocolate is 10 times the price of the bag of cocoa. We take metal. We take everything that African is having and we send to Europe that we sell to make money. We take timber and send to Europe and import furnitures. Somebody just come from Europe, pays 1 billion, they give you a contract of 50 years to exploit a forest for 1 billion. In 50 years, that person makes 1,000 times the profit because those same timbers, they use them to do furnitures, and then we now import a set of furniture for 700,000, 800,000. Even the government offices in Africa are using furnitures from Europe and China. The same wood that they use in doing those furnitures are coming from Africa. The same people that work in those factories in Europe that do those menial jobs still coming from Africa. Today there is something here I want us to talk about. Did the Western world help China to be developed, or you want to argue with me that China is a less developed world? China is pitting with Europe, with America for world power. China is not even talking about Europe because there is no economy in Europe, no single country in Europe that can stand the economy of China. So China is now pitting with America for world power. Did China use Europe? Of course no. This is what Africans need to do. You can't turn to Europe to loan. You give somebody your money 50,000 to keep. You go back to the person that I want to borrow 20,000 and you pay interest of 5,000. Does that make sense? We need to ask ourselves as Africans, how do we make Africa great again? We should stop all these protests. Every day we protest. Black Lives Matter. Say no to racism. Who are you saying? You think this Western world that is promoting all these banners, you want to play football, everybody needs that no to racism. You think they don't know what they are doing? These same people are the same people that sat and took Africa and put down as a mother will bring food and share among the children. They took African continent and took pen and paper and started dividing Africa. After dividing Africa, they start using it for their benefit. Then you turn around and go to Africa, to Europe, or to the Western world and ask the same Western world to help you to develop. Ask this question: did China go to Europe or to the Western world to be called a developed nation or for assistance? No. Now we have Africa for, is it Africa for China summit? What a disgrace. Can you have Ghana for Africa for China summit? For Asia summit? Can you have Nigeria for Asia summit? Can you have South Africa for Asian summit? Why do we have China for African summit? We submit ourselves to people. Have you been to China? Apart from the economic development in China, mentality-wise, in terms of civilization, an average Chinese man is compared to a villager in Africa. These are people that sit in a restaurant, eat, blow their nostrils, spit out on the floor, the same place they are eating. This is the same people we are civilized as we are. The history book says civilization started in Africa. As civilized as we are, we take Africa, China, and the world president in Africa will sit. What a shame to listen to the president of China. There is one thing I want to tell you now. We do Africa for China summit, right? Yes. Do you know how, this is a little secret, do you know how the Chinese call Africa in Chinese language? They call Americans Meigo. They call England Hingwo, like English person. They call African. Do you know what a Chinese man call Africa in their language? In Chinese. Go call any Chinese that is your friend. Ask him, how do you call Africa in your language? It's called Fegwo, and we Africans are Fegworon. You know what is Fegwo? Nothing. How can a country sit and when they are making their language and put in the dictionaries in their country to call different countries, and you choose a continent and call them nothing people? If you don't know that, if you're an African president, you are watching me, call your president in China and ask the president, how do you call Africa in your language? We are called Fake Warren, nothing people. Yet, how many 50-something countries in Africa, all these countries in Africa will sit to listen to China? Africa should sit and listen to China if Asia can sit and listen to Ghana. There should be also Ghana for Asian Summit, South Africa for European Summit, maybe Liberia for American Summit. That's it. Look at China. How do China develop? This is the reason why Gaddafi was killed. Because he was coming up with a strategy that will help to liberate Africa. Africans need to be liberated. We should stop protesting in the street. We are wasting our time. Do you think we protest in America, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter? Yes, it's important that we protest in America. Do you think the white police people in Africa kill black people in America more than we blacks in America kill ourselves? Let's be honest. The amount of guns within the black community in America that they themselves, they kill each other. Even they stop killing each other for 10 years, the amount of blacks that are being killed by a policeman in America will not reach that number. White man brings the dogs from Colombia, sits in their office, and the black man roams the street, carries the gun, kill each other to sell and then take this money to the white man. How do you need to liberate your mentality. You need to liberate yourself from mental slavery. Why do you think this man is the man? Because he has white color, he has to sit in the office and give you the drug. And because you are a black man, you have to go to the street and carry gun and kill your brothers. And you are shooting, talking about this is my zone, this is not my zone. Do you know that as a black man, when you pick a gun and point on another black man, you are killing your own brother? Do you know you are killing your own brother? How did China develop? Let's talk a little bit about that. If you go to China, there is no YouTube. There's Youku. In Africa, YouTube is talk of the day. In China, there is no WhatsApp. There's WeChat. In Africa, people are in church, they have their phone, they are doing WhatsApp. They come out of the house, they are doing WhatsApp. Each time you do WhatsApp calls and each time you use WhatsApp and you use Facebook, Facebook is doing publicity and it's making money, and it's making money for the Western world. China realized that and stopped completely using anything that has to do with the Western world. If you want Facebook, you will use China's Facebook. If you want YouTube, you will use their own YouTube, which is Youku, not YouTube. You will use WeChat, not WhatsApp. Every single thing the Western world has, China has their own version in their own name. That is how China actually succeeded in growing. How do we grow? You turn around, the white man brought religion in Africa and stole away our resources. What a lazy complaint. Is the white man now killing black people in South Africa? Of course, no. We South Africans ourselves, we are busy killing each other. How can a South African person, that a president like Nelson Mandela will stay in prison for 20-something years just to liberate a country, and then it's like you take the gold ring and put on the nose of a pig? When white man was ruling South Africa, I was in South Africa for 4 years. South Africa was so calm in terms of looting and stuff like that. What was happening in South Africa when the white man was ruling? Apartheid system, black man was suppressed. Then Mandela came out and said, okay, I'm not going to revenge, but we are going to come as unity and work. People hated Mandela, that he was supposed to revenge. But this is an intelligent person. This is what they say, this is God sent. What happened? Nelson Mandela never revenged. He preferred to unite. What is happening today? You kill your own brothers. Africa, where are we going? If I want to talk, I can talk for the next 5 weeks without stopping. But we are going to stop here today. And I'm going to take a look at the comment section if there's any comment to talk about. But today we are going to stop here. And we will be back again next week, Saturday, with the guest in the studio to talk about how do we liberate Africa. My brother Wodemaya, just continue doing what you are doing. Show people the other part of Africa, that Africa is not as dirty. There's one man on YouTube doing documentaries about Africa. That man is just doing the worst things about Africa. Then when we come to Europe, we go and do documentary in the cities and do movies in the cities. We don't go to the ghettos for people to see how Europe is. But when a white man comes to Africa, the documentary that sells is the one that people eat with monkeys. But they need to go to Sun City in South Africa and see cleanliness. They need to go to Victoria Island in Nigeria, in Lagos, to see cleanliness. They need to go to Accra, the poch areas in Accra, and see real estates that depict what Africa is all about. And this man spent all his time in Africa, go to Congo, to the war areas, go to where people are suffering, and then these people deserve serious slap when you see them doing this kind of documentary. Because this documentary is not just for them to sell to make money. This documentary is sent to Europe and it is entering the head of the Europeans that have never been to Africa. What do you expect them to know? They have never been to Africa. Is it not what you show them that they will watch? Today you talk about a white person, you talk about movies, they will tell you Africans, they believe in juju too much. Why? I watch it in Nigeria movie. Is it only juju movies that we have, juju that we have in Africa? But thank God for the Nigerian movies that they have moved from the village and the juju and they disappear and appear and the babalawo, and they have now gone to the cities to start showing also white people that this is what Africa is all about. I'm your humble host, Chief. I'll be back again next week Saturday, and I will talk and I will talk and I will talk and I will talk. While I talk, I don't forget to appreciate those who are out there also making it for Africa to be great again. As we take a short break, you take a short break with this music. I like this music.
I wish ningemwona Magufuli, nipige magoti, nimpongeze hadharani. Yani rais wa muungano wa jamhuri, mchapakazi hachoki, anayepinga nani? Ametuvusha vikwazo, wewe na mimi, ona nchi anavyoijenga. Flyover tunazo, daraja Kigamboni, airport imeshajengwa. Acha nikupongeze kwa Air Tanzania.